Hey there, welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. Well, it's March 3rd, 2021. There's just so much 3 energy. I had to get out here in the sunshine. As I was setting up, there was a bee coming in. First bee I've seen this spring or whatever, pre-spring. So it's showing me that spring is on its way. Things are starting to blossom and bloom, or they're just getting ready to. And, bees remind us to remember the sweetness of life, So, remember the sweetness of life. So I'm sitting out here at the park. It's beautiful out here. This is like my third take. First one, I guess. I didn't know if it was personal messages for me, and then a dog came up, so dog energy. And I could read into everything all day long, but I want to read into the cards. Different messages. I've got a few different decks that I'm working with, and again, I this is like my third take, so it's funny, all the threes. And I had to check and make sure, because it just seemed like maybe it was speaking to me, but the messages, some of the exact same cards came out, and some other ones came in to give it a clearer message. So I'm guessing this is just for everybody, whoever needs this message. The Fool came out twice in the Crowley deck that I have. Where's my camera? So the Fool is a new beginning, and it being this particular deck, it's that 0. And I like to think of the 0. I don't always acknowledge the numbers. Sometimes I over-acknowledge the numbers. But the 0 is the womb. It's the unmanifested. It's the imagination. It's what do you want to create? It's that stage of really getting clear and knowing that you are on this new journey. And the more consciousness you can bring to that, and understanding that we always have a choice, We may not know that we have a choice, or we may not like the choices we believe we have. But right now, I'm just feeling from this Fool, there's a tiger there. There's something about this inherent power, and the tiger is clinging to the thigh of this Fool, and it's really drawing my eye. So is this butterfly. It's like it's really a brand new beginning. It's time to spread your wings. Something about the tiger being on the thigh of that Fool really speaks about movement. It's like recalling the Chariot card for me, which is all about focus. Where you put your attention is where you go. And so really put your attention on what you want. And it's bringing more clarity about the messages from this other deck that I've got. But I just want to acknowledge really quick, you've got the Fool in this Crowley deck. You've got the Fool, you've got the Aeon, and you've got the Empress. All major arcanas. And it's interesting too, because this 8 of Pentacles came up in the last reading that I reshuffled it, and there it is underneath the Aeon. And the Aeon came out both times too, but that as a clarifier. Now it's wanting to be like the dominant aspect besides the Fool. And then underneath it, I also want to acknowledge is the Ace of Discs reversed. So this is for anyone who's feeling any kind of lack, and especially not just money, although money may be a huge factor, but also emotionally, you might be becoming more and more conscious of a lack mentality when it comes to your emotional fulfillment. So this could be in romantic relationships, this could be in friendships, this could be just in self-love, whatever. Maybe you're giving too much of yourself or not feeling appreciated. So all of these things, or again, it could just be lots of financial stuff. It could be a little bit of both. I'm finding in my own personal life, and like I said, this seems to be a pretty good reflection of things going on for myself too. I'm finding that my emotional self-worth is really shining a light on my financial worth. And it's hard to see that, because it's okay, I see it, now what do I do? Well, that's why we're doing a reading. One, it seems like the overarching message of this is that whoever's receiving this message right now is going through a pretty major transformation right now. So don't be too hard on yourself. And if lack of worth is being reflected in your reality, just take a deep breath and go deeper into that self-love. And I like to do like tapping on my thymus, because that like stimulates your endocrine system, and just say, prime reality is here. I am love, I am light, I am worthy. All these beautiful things. I am peace, I am joy, I am freedom. Also acknowledge, I have a shadow, I am dark, I am afraid, I'm hearing selfish sometimes, stingy for whoever that is, maybe for myself, maybe I need to look more deeply into that. Where am I being selfish? All these things though, that I just feel like fear is at the core of that. And it's also interesting, someone very dear to me identified with the energy of Phobos, which is one of the moons on Mars, and the name Phobos means fear or terror. And so it's interesting, there's just something about looking into your shadow right now and facing what are you afraid of. And so that worthiness, both in the emotional and both in the financial, seem to really be prime for whoever this message is for, myself included. So just know that, again, it's all a reflection, it's temporary. I feel like with all this major transformational energy going on right now, whatever is manifesting in the material right now is actually more immaterial. Like, don't hang your hat on what's outside of you. Be way more interested in what's going on inside, and trust a little bit that all is well. All is well. All is well. Breathe it in. Look up at the sun. Let that light in. And I learned something from a very wise woman one time about take a deep breath, drink some water, bless your water, and look up. Because when you look up, you are looking through your third eye, and it forces you to shift perspective. Even if just for a moment, look up and breathe and drink water. All right, so again, the Empress, the Aeon, and the Fool, they like really want me to go back and forth through this. The Empress wants to speak. I feel like this is a really divine feminine energy. I almost said if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not, it's still divine feminine energy. And it's that energy that all is well. It's that mother energy. She's abundant, she's fine. That all is well in her world. And so if you can understand that there's that energy is involved with all of this new beginning, this transformation, and even the things that may not be appearing to you the way you want them to be, if you can just trust that that is again, as you face your fear, as you face your truth, your reality is going to come up and mirror what's wanting to be shown to you. And so you can either say, yes, I agree, or you can say, wow, very interesting. And now I'm bringing to it, prime reality is within. Now I'm infusing into it this self-love, this worthiness. I am a worthy person. And you don't need anybody's approval. And it doesn't matter who they are. Now, kids, it's easy to want their approval, especially if they're your own. Partners, it's easy to want their approval. Well, I guess it'd be your own. Parents, all of that, But for a moment, all these lessons of detachment keep coming up too. And it's funny because that's like the mirror. On the one hand is this main message of you're at a major destiny point right now, major transformational destiny point. You're making a new beginning and you are moving toward abundance. And I feel like, before they'll let me move away from this, that the Empress is stronger than the Ace of Pentacles, whether the Pentacles are upright or not. Now, if it was upright, then it would be, they'd really be harmonizing. But it just feels like this is a greater truth. This is outside of time and space. And this is just what's here now. So if you can just align yourself with this and understand that your greater truth is abundance, your greater truth is being provided for, going towards the things, doing the things that need done that are most to benefit and most in alignment with who you are, and trust yourself. And the Hierophant underneath is reversed. And it's kind of like, it's almost like the High Priestess reversed for some reason, because the Moon reversed under that. There are so many major arcanas in this stack that are reversed that really are talking about I feel like it's kind of like what's pulling you out of this and pulling you into this. It's maybe allowing others to dictate your truth to you when you know who you are. You know, you might be receiving intuitive guidance, and I do it too. You know, I'm getting back into doing this full time, and others, well-meaning, are like, well, go do this, we'll go do that. And it's like, well, you know, none of these jobs are going to work out because that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm just down to it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do, this and sing, not sing a song, you know, but, you know, getting back into your truth. So I guess it's important that I am sharing in this message. It's as much for me as it is for you. And thank you for allowing that, because this affirms that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So what are you supposed to be doing? And I don't like the word supposed to, but supposed to, according to this energy of trust and abundance and self-worth. It's so Venusian, so much self-worth. As opposed to, you know, it just doesn't hold any weight. You're not supposed to do what other people tell you to do if it goes against your own inner truth. And so, shadow work. You're doing shadow work right now. I definitely recommend getting a journal. I'll say that probably every single video I ever do. Get a journal and write down the fears. Write down gosh, there's so many words coming up, but they don't make sense. I heard the word arrogance, and I don't feel like that's the arrogance of anybody watching this message. It just feels like somebody arrogantly is trying to overpower you with this whole I know better than you do. And you don't have to agree to that. Like, no, they don't. Why don't they go know their life? Like, it's good to ask for guidance. It's good for, like, even this, you know, it's good to ask for guidance. But, and then here's strength peeking out under the Fool. It's the 9 of Wands, but it's reversed. You know, giving your power away, it's like you are, it's like there's this inevitable transformation that you're going through. And so acquiescing to somebody else's demands for the sake of keeping peace, you're giving your power away. Be strong in who you are. Be strong in your new beginning, and believe in yourself, because it's going to lead towards things. So I'm going to go away from that because this really wants to be acknowledged. Now, this feels like it could have to do with a partner. The cards that were here before, that I was like, is this about me or is this for other people? And it's both, you know. There's some heartbreak happening. It's either has happened, it's happening, or it's about to happen. And and it has to do with rejection. It has to do with unworthiness. It could have to do with a romantic heartbreak and whatever happened. But it's indicated to give up the fight. I'm not going to show every card. I know some of you watch my videos and you like to see the cards, but these, they don't want me to do that. They just want me to say the message. It's really about standing in your power. It's really about, and it feels like, even though there's not this like 2 of Swords present, there's this thing about sorry, I'm seeing all these different things. About making a choice. Choice really wants to be spoken of. But it's like, I guess the reason why 2 of Swords didn't come up is that when you evaluate that you have a choice, you see that one is not, they don't weigh the same, if that makes sense. You know, it's like, do I want more heartbreak and pain, or do I want to chase after my inspiration and my passions? And this is really about focusing on you. And again, it's the divine feminine is reflected. It's well, I'll just show you the card. I don't know why they say don't show the card. Just all of them. They don't want to get too caught up in that, I guess. But the Queen of Wands, I feel like I need to show that. This is what they're saying, you know, but she's looking at heartbreak. Why not show the cards? She is looking at heartbreak. And I just feel like there's like this mental illness with this heartbreak, like going round and round in your head, whether you're, you identify more with the masculine or the feminine or whatever it is. There's some passionate aspect of you that's looking at heartbreak and making yourself crazy, thinking through conversations and going over fights and going over conflict, like how could I have done it differently? And while self-evaluation is so important and it's responsibility and it's all these beautiful things, self-evaluation, yes, embrace that, but don't make yourself fucking crazy. Identify things here and there. Okay, I could have done this, or identify like what you did, but stop fucking beating yourself up for it. It's over. Move forward. If there's consequences to what happened, if it led to heartbreak, you know what? It did. It is what it is, right? And so you can't go back and fix it. You can only move forward. And whether it's you can move forward in saving a situation that maybe you had to learn something about yourself and you couldn't learn it any other way. And I feel like that's a definite yes. Like whatever it was. Maybe there's too much harm done and you can't fix it. But you know what? If you died, you're still going to move on to something else. If you didn't die, you didn't die. So move on. Move on. Learn from it and move on. You didn't die. So now you just got to keep moving forward. And you can ponder and regret, but what it just holds you, it holds you stuck in hell. Basically, you're holding yourself in a place of regret, and that's going to lead you back to learning the same lesson again. And if you need to, that's not wrong. But just know that you're magnetizing more of the same to you. Or you can acknowledge the heartbreak and do a cord cutting, take a selenite wand and cut that shit away. Cut all ties from any people, places, things, situations, circumstances, negative karmic timelines, soul contracts, hidden agendas, entities, energies that don't nourish your soul. Anything that's draining you, anything that is punishing you, anything that's holding you in fear, anything that's holding you in regret, anything that's holding you in terror, sorrow, anything like that, anything that's not aligning you and attuning you to your highest vibrational soul, life, path, destiny, cut that shit away. I obviously very much recommend selenite. I love that because it's like a lightsaber, man. You can tell him burned herbs and stuff, to cleanse the energy and to rid it. Spend time outside. I'm so grateful to be in the sunshine and doing a video and reading. It's really hard right now to pull ourselves out of these situations. For me, I don't know which situation I'm supposed to pull out of, if it's this internal thing or if it is an external thing. And certainly I would rather be pulling away from an internal thing than an external thing. But that's what it is. This internal thing is creating shining, or it's funny to say shining fear. What's the opposite of shine? But maybe that is. Maybe that Phobos, maybe there is a light on the fear right now. And it's an opportunity to heal. And it's an opportunity. So yeah, I'm going to show the cards now for whatever reason. Wow. Strong messages. I didn't even want to show this many fucking cards, but different readers will say different things about this card. I feel like this isn't the Ace of Cups, man. There's something here that isn't what you want. And behind it, though, is this big opportunity. But then behind it is the sun reversed. And behind it is Nine of Swords. You know what I mean? There's all these fucking... So at the core of it is negative thinking. And I could go in depth in every card, but I don't want to. It's just negative thinking, and I feel like it's projection. That's what I'm doing. My brain, for whatever reason, is creating scenarios that didn't even happen. And I don't know why that's happening. I'm thankful that I can see it. And actually, I've been talking about it with my daughter. Both my daughters are very wise. I have very wise children. And trauma has been like the buzzword around our house for a while. Like, oh shit, we're all traumatized. PTSD. It was explained to me, when it was diagnosed or whatever, that when you can grow up with it. In my case, I grew up with it, where so many traumatic things happen that's how you learned that you constantly have to be surviving. It's fight or flight, or it goes beyond that, but whatever. You're constantly in survival mode. And so if there's not a perceivable threat, you will create one, you will invent one, because that's how you know how to survive. And lots of talk about moving from out of survival mode into thriving. That's my goal, man. And if I can share that journey with anybody, fuck, I'm so grateful to do it. So at the root of it is worrying about scenarios that haven't even happened, and I think somehow it's putting a damper on something that truly is an opportunity, but either maybe you don't feel worthy of it, because this cup is next to an ace of opportunity. And maybe this is something really good, but you're not taking it, and that's part of that shadow. So look at what you are resisting, and what are you spinning on it? What kind of shadow are you spinning on it? Or what kind of shadow are you spinning on yourself? That this isn't what I want, or I'm not good enough for this. Just fucking try it. You know how I've been trying to make videos. I've been trying to tell myself to make videos for 4 years. I've been trying to make a channel, really. So here I am. Maybe I won't make another one for another 4 months or 4 years or whatever, but I'm doing it now. And that's the whole thing about embracing. My light is going away, so I have to, so talking about shadows. So the big thing is, turn your back on anything that is not your sea of gold, that is not your ships coming in, that is not resonant of all that you've been putting a lot of work at. That gold energy says healing to me. You've been doing so much healing. What are you bringing to yourself? And turn your back on anything that isn't that. And really at the core of it is your thoughts. Because once you fucking deal with that, you've got justice, you've got the 10 of Pentacles, you've got the 9 of Cups, you've got solid foundations, you've got the universe making everything right, and you've got your wishes coming true, and they're coming in fast. Well, I'm getting kind of cold. So, God, there's more and more messages that want to go on. But I just want to make a big solid, do you get that? Turn your back on anything that isn't reflective of all the healing you've been doing, that isn't reflective of all that you've been bringing towards you, that isn't reflective of that coming towards you. Look beyond the trauma. Look beyond the negative thinking. Look beyond and look to the healing work that you've done, and see that the healing work, as long as you keep your eyes on that it's bringing all that you want towards you. And then hold yourself accountable when trauma is trying to lead you to miscreate. Because you don't have to do that. These cards totally turn themselves around. Wow. Through this transformation, with this transformation comes great victory. So don't be afraid to turn your back on things that don't resonate with who you are and your highest and best good, that doesn't align you and attune you to your highest and best good. Don't be afraid to let things go. Don't be afraid to let yourself go. Attune and align. Align and attune. Breathe and journal. And journal just as much about your truth and the healing you've done and all that you're bringing to yourself as you do about the shadow. And let them illuminate each other back and forth, okay? All right, and the final little things. I've got this William Blake deck. Ooh, I'm freezing, y'all. That sun goes behind the mountains, and it's very cold in Colorado. The Two of Painting and the Angel of Poetry. And The Two of Painting, I think, is resonant of like the Two of Coins, Two of Pentacles. And I want to get it really close because it's about balance. It's called balance. But you see how there's unseen, God, I wish I could get that into focus. There's unseen support. You know, spirit has got you. And I always like to say you are spirit, but however you have to see it, you've got, unseen hands have got you. Okay? So just keep your balance. And then we've got the Angel of Poetry. And it says, angels, stand round my spirit. And it's almost the same thing. It's kind of sexual looking too, but that's just my dirty mind. But really it's just that same message of there's this larger, somewhat angelic or greater beingness that really truly is an aspect of you or something that you're connected to. It's connected to you, you know, there's a connection. And you turn around and see, there you are. There you are. Angels, stand round my spirit. It kind of feels like they're there for you to call on if you believe in such beings. If you don't feel comfortable with angels, you know, you can just say my divine family of love and light and protection, my guards, my guides, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just know that they're there. All you have to do is call and understand that they all have to respect your free will, so it's important to call upon them, acknowledge your connection to them. Know that they're there, that they've got you, and also know that there are those that are there to help you, you know. I don't like the word servitude so much, but, you know, for lack of a better word, if you can see them as like family, see them as being on your team. You're not here, you don't have to do it alone. You know, call for assistance. It's okay. All right, I'm done shivering. Thank you for, you know, receiving this. I'm hoping to do a lot more videos over the next couple days. And if you would like a private reading, there's information down below. And God, the whole like promoting myself thing. But yeah, if you like the video, you want to share it, that would be groovy. Tell your friends. I do pretty, like, I go pretty deep in my readings if you like that sort of thing, and like and subscribe and all that stuff if you will. Until then, my name is Fairlight and I wish you peace and blessings. Bye.